welcome to another episode of Inside CKP. I am your host, Jeremy Como, and before I introduce these people, uh, these characters, let's pay the bills. This show is brought to you by those at Chris Kennedy Publishing, those wonderful folks. You can find everything on chriskennedypublishing.com. We have sci-fi, military sci-fi, fantasy, urban fantasy, a sprinkle of romance. Am I forgetting anything, ladies? Some nonfiction is sprinkled in there too. If you want to support this show and Chris Kennedy Publishing, you can go to their Patreon, and you get all kinds of goodies there. You get CKP Confidential, along with some early preview stuff. So go check it out there. And I always say this every show: if you go to chriskennedypublishing.com and sign up for their newsletter, you get news before anybody else gets it, and you get a lot of free stuff, and you could even potentially become an early reader. So go sign up for the newsletter. You can find Chris Kennedy Publishing on Facebook. The fan page is the factory floor, where all the shenanigans happens. And then, of course, the YouTube channel, which you're watching right now. So don't really need to put that up there because you're here. But there you go. And now that the bills are paid, you're bringing on your host, Melissa Wolf, and the lady of the hour, Melissa Olthoff. And when these two get together, it is madness. So I'm gonna step out and let them chat, and then probably poke my head in whenever the bullshit gets too high. All right. And with that, ladies, please take it away.
So brave Sir Robin will bravely run away. That's fine.
It's fine. He ran away bravely. He did his part. He is an excellent husband.
He did. He's pretty good. We share, for those of you watching who may not know, we share Jeremy at cons. He is our shared con husband. So
he makes sure I eat food.
That's important. He did bring food several times this last weekend, which was nice.
I make sure they don't die.
Yes, he does very well.
Shoot, at cons, that is important because we get a little distracted.
A little bit. And he also makes sure I have Starbucks, which is always appreciated.
That's true. Melissa has multiple people to ensure that she has the caffeine that she requires. Sometimes she trades bodyguard services for caffeine. Just giving you all the heads up on that.
It's required.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Also, Ms. Cox, you are correct. Her ears are amazing. I feel like you might need to start, before we get into new book release excitement, we should talk about where the Salvage Bunny comes from and who is to blame.
So, like many things in my life, I can blame Casey Moores for a lot of things. So I nicknamed Kailey, my character, I nicknamed her Bunny because she, instead of fighting or running away, she freezes a lot. So she got nicknamed Bunny. And then Casey decided that made her the Salvage Bunny, and it also made me the Salvage Bunny. Mm-hmm. And I just rolled with it and found these awesome ears, and it's now my thing.
They're very awesome. You also debuted them this last weekend, did you not?
I did with another person that I feel like I remember with shenanigans and a Phoenix Feast and tattoos, and it was just a great thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people who hosted the Phoenix Feast went and got Phoenix tattoos ahead of I don't know how to do this actually on StreamYard. Hold on. There it is.
That was so weird.
Here we are. That's what we did. It was genuinely a coincidence, but also a very fun one. Also, the Snitch himself, your author twin, is here.
Hello, Nick.
Yeah. You have anything you need to say to him before we dig in?
Thanks for telling on me to my husband, you jerk. Trying to keep it PG here. You're making it very difficult.
At least the first 15 minutes, guys. Nick, we put our tattoos in. We have an author chat, and we put our tattoos in said author chat. And Nick was like, "What is that? A smug? No, a fancy chicken?" I was like, "It is a smug peacock. Thank you very much." And then when Melissa showed hers, he was like, "Now that's a smug peacock."
I am now calling it a fancy chicken, to be clear. Like,
Yeah.
I had some random guy come up to me in the grocery store yesterday. He's like, I love your tattoo. I'm like, I know, me too.
The only appropriate reaction. Yeah.
Like, is it a phoenix? I'm like, no, it's a fancy chicken.
Did you really say that to a random stranger? I
And
love
then
it
I
so
had
much.
to explain it, and he was very much a good sport.
Nice. He's like, I swear it's a phoenix. Yes, well, you would think, but author twin says no.
My author twin is in trouble.
He is. He is. And all he can do is yell in the chat right now. So we have the power as usual, which is nice. So, so the Salvage Bunny got to ride with the horsemen this weekend at Fantasy, which was super fun. And speaking of super fun, today we're gathered here today to celebrate this little thing called Book 2, as Prince might say. So, Melissa, tell us about your book.
You know, when you go to a doctor's office and the doctor asks, do you have any questions? You go, nope. Like, wait, what book? I have a book? Okay.
Is that what we're here for? It's fine.
So, Knightfall Under Keros is Salvage Bunny 2, and it picks up a few weeks, months. I left it vague. It picks up where book 1 left off. You know, book 1's been out for a while, so I'm not too worried about spoilers. But basically, Kailey had to find a new life, and she landed with her mercenary friends, and now she's trying to pick up the pieces, figure out how to do this mercenary thing and how to fit in. And it's not going great.
Well, wouldn't be much of a book if it was awesome. So
Right. The problem is that there's the Lancers, which is the bigger mercenary organization, and then there's the smaller, more intimate Knights, which all the other mercenaries see as an elite unit, whereas all of Kailey's friends just see it as family. So they kind of have issues with that. And then of course, we have Andre, our villain from book 1, who very much did not take his defeat gracefully in his back. For bad guys doing bad guy things. Kailey has to kind of figure out how to deal with Andre and his syndicate bastards and try and rescue the damsel in distress of this story, which is not her for once.
Woo! Way to grow up, Kailey.
Yeah.
We love it. Well, you have, so this is book 2 of a trilogy. Yes. Book 3 is already planned, and I believe started.
30K in.
Oh my gosh. So not just started, but like a third of the way done. Amazing. And you've got a pretty cool progression. Do you want to share with the people at home?
So if I could sum up each of these books with a single sentence, the first one would be, what would you do to save your home? The second one, what would you sacrifice to save your friends? And then a little bit of a hint for book 3, how far would you go to save yourself? So it's kind of Kailey's character progression throughout the trilogy. You know, book 1, she had to step it up and fight for her home and, you know, go back to her roots, where she was raised by the kitsune, my space foxes. And book 2 is very much what would you do when your friends are in danger, and maybe, just maybe, you have what it takes to save them.
Oof, maybe, just maybe. Because it's not like she didn't grow already in book 1. Right, like I read this pretty cool review that Melissa got that she may or may not want to talk about. I don't know. So it's super cool. And the reviewer was incredibly positive about the really just very thoughtful character development that Kailey went through in book 1. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Do you mean that awesome little like paper copy thingy I got from a certain
That
person?
might be. That might be what I'm talking about.
Sean Korsgaard? I always mispronounce his last name. I feel terrible, but Sean was fantastic, and he wanted to do a review on Sunrise Over Shippo for Analog. And he handed me hand-delivered, like, I'm getting this thing framed, y'all. He hand-delivered me, like, the magazine with my review in it, and I almost cried. Like, I'm like, oh my God, read this.
So good. Oh my God, it's such a good review. Also, hold on, we'll get to Nick's comment in a second, Jeremy. Nick can wait. Jeez. Get Nick off the screen. Go away, Nick.
Hold on.
We'll come back to you. You are correct, Nick.
Keep doing stuff like that. I'll support you.
That's right. We'll come back to you in a second, Nick. You're great, but not right now. The review, yeah. So Melissa got this review hand delivered to her at Fantasy, but then, people were talking to her about her books, trying to buy them. So I think 4 of us got to actually read it before she did. She just knew it was good. And she was like, okay, you guys read it. And we're all like, oh my God, oh my God, this. She's like, okay, guys, I haven't read it yet. I'm trying to sell this book. We're like, buy this book. Look at this review.
And they did buy the book, which was super cool.
They did. It was pretty great. Okay, now Nick can come back.
I am inevitable. Oh God, Nick, really?
I know. Do not encourage him, Charlie.
No.
Jeremy, you're gonna. No, not that one. Anyway, so Nick Steverson, I imagine people watching this would know, but in case you don't, Melissa and Nick are author twins. They are besties. They share a space dad, Nick's actual real dad, Melissa's actual real space dad. And they are like, you think we are like chaos and goofballs combined. Her and Nick are like this giant ball of creative energy who will plot like 8 trilogies while you just sit there like, I just asked you if you wanted a drink, but now you've written 24 books like I don't understand. And it's pretty awesome. So Nick knows the storyline very well. He knows where it's going. He's probably had a preview of the 30,000 words. I'm not jealous. It's fine. And it's fine. I read her whole Valkyries novel. It's fine. Like 3 times.
Yes,
it's fine. So it's fine, Nick. It's not a competition. It's fine.
You read that one too.
I know. He read it before I did. It's fine. So I said it's not a competition. Obviously, it's only a competition when I can win. So Nick is totally correct. This is an incredible storyline. And is there any chance, Melissa, that given the a bajillion books you and Nick are going to write in Salvage Title, that we would see Kailey again? If she survives, obviously.
Assuming that she survives her own trilogy, yes. I will do... Right now, I have a 3rd trilogy, a 4th, 5th. I've lost count of how many trilogies I owe my Space Dad at this point. Space Dad, by the way, y'all, is Kevin Steverson.
Oh, right. Sure.
So we've got, Nick and I have our Hyena trilogy coming out in April now. End of April, June, and July.
So
we have a 2nd trilogy planned for Hyenas that we've already gotten mostly plotted out because that's just what we do.
Who you are. Yeah.
A single throwaway line in this book in Knightfall spawned a whole new trilogy.
Surprise!
I'm like, now I have to write this because clearly Winterborn deserves to be punched in the face by a whole new main character that I have come up with. So
right, not like I still have to come up with. I knew immediately who they would be.
And then there's a Champions of Shainra trilogy that Nick, me, and Space Dad are going to co-write together. So it's at least those 3, probably another one with Kailey because I love her so much. Like, clearly.
The Space Bunny of all things.
Right.
I love. Okay, so in writing this book, did anything surprise you about the storyline? Or were you already so well planned out, you were like, oh, I knew it all along?
So most of what I do, I'm not really a pantser and I'm not a plotter. I'm in between. I'm like a chaotic note taker.
Weird.
So
yeah.
I'm like in the middle of the road. And I think you know a little bit about that.
I don't.
Yeah.
Definitely not familiar to me at all. It's fine.
Yeah. So I'll write out like a whole bunch of different scenes and then I will try and wrangle it into some kind of order a la what Kevin Eikenberry has taught us with the 7-point story structure, which is super helpful. And most of it I have in my head. Like I know where the story is going to go. It's just the little things in between that will surprise me. And some of them, like the whole Winterborn getting punched in the face. I have no idea where that line came from. It just magically appeared. And I'm like, yeah, that works. That works. And a few other things like, so something that I used to do when I was in the military, when I was a cadet, which is what a lot of these interactions are based off of, is, how I interacted with, my fellow airmen, is how we interacted off duty. Like we would watch a lot of movies and we would hang out and have beverages. And that just made its way into the story. And I wasn't planning on the whole movie thing being a just minor little thing throughout the whole story. So I thought that was a lot of fun. Wait, people plot? Yes, Space Dad, yeah. People occasionally plot. It's totally true.
The founder of the Salvage Title universe himself has arrived to take care of his space daughter and join in the shenanigans. Hey,
Yay.
Kevin. Yeah, some people totally plot. So, okay, I was on this podcast last week, and one of the authors was like, "Man, people who can write a whole novel without outlining terrify me." And lo and behold, in our group was a woman, the fabulous Mona Lisa Foster, who does that. Like, she doesn't. She says she's a complete pantser, but she's so incredibly ferociously disciplined about it. So like you and I are chaotic note takers, which totally. Mona Lisa will like write a chapter, see where it goes, write the next one, go back and edit the one before to make sure it all aligns, write the third, go back and make sure it all aligns, right? So by the time she gets to the end, she has like this beautifully tied together thing. And it's not like she reads back over like some people do and is like, wait, what happened here? What happened? Things happen. Okay. She's so organized. I don't know. So
She is
also
amazing. That
she's
helps.
amazing. And she's so freaking talented. It's absurd, like disciplined and talented. So look out.
Mhm.
And then now also I realize Kevin Steverson doesn't outline. So he also will terrify this other author, which is hilarious.
Right?
He writes
It's
such delightful
amazing.
stories. What? How do you people?
I don't know.
It's wild.
That's right.
Although,
I am the best secretary ever. Thank you, Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Hey, at least I don't vomit out words.
Yeah, you should.
Just
Do you
word
talk
vomits.
about how you guys write together, or do you want to save that for a hyenas episode?
We can talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, if
The
you want to.
tornadoes,
Just
the
make fun
tornadoes
of
are
him.
curious. I have
Yeah.
time.
We'll know when Mother Nature says shut up, no more Nick. Then we'll know. We'll know. It's fine.
Mother Nature is very excited about my book release. Apparently, she's a little frisky around here.
Yeah, the air is very excited.
Yeah. So when Nick and I co-write together, he can't sit down all day at a desk like I can. I have the advantage where I'm teleworking for the most part. I have my work laptop here. I've got my fun laptop here, and I can just, slowly eke out 1,000 words a day or so. He can't do that. I'm being very nice to Nick right now, and you better acknowledge this, buddy.
Don't
So
be. I'm sorry, JK Nick, you're great.
He'll drive all day and he'll think about it, and then he'll just open his mouth and vomit out all the words on the screen, and he'll nail like 3,000 or 4,000 words within an hour. I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah.
So I call him the supreme overlord of word vomit.
It's pretty solid. We at some point last year, I don't remember how time works because we don't do time math here. But Chris,
we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that here. Chris Kennedy and I were posting our word counts every day because we were engaged in friendly competition and writing our 2 books in a month. And so Melissa and Nick were like, it was the most productive writing I've ever done in my entire life. And so Nick and Melissa started doing that too. And they wrote almost as many words as we did.
We got close.
You got close a couple days. But yeah, Nick would seriously be like, okay, yeah, it's the weekend. Okay, here's 9,000 words. And I was like, what the shit? How did you?
Right. And then like it'd take me a couple days to match it because it's not like Nick's writing 80% of it, I'm writing 20. We match roughly more or less, our word count. So it's like, all right, well, throw it back to me for a couple days. I'll get up there, so to speak. It'll be fine.
That's what she said. And let's not pretend that Melissa is some kind of slouch, y'all, because last year, how many books did you write last year, Melissa?
5.
Yeah. Okay. So Melissa writes this short story for me. It's effing incredible. I loved it. You should buy Valkyries and read it if you haven't, and meet Athena and Sebastian. It's very important that you do that. And then she's like, you know what? I think by like March or May, I'm going to have my first novel done for you. And I was like, but aren't you also doing Sunrise Over Shippo? She's like, yeah. And aren't you also doing this thing with Nick? Yeah. Do you also have these? Yeah. And you have a full-time job in children? Yeah, but did that girl get me a fucking fantastic novel? We're 20 minutes in, I can say it.
Yes!
That's right. We did it.
Yes.
Fucking fantastic novel. I think a couple weeks ahead of her self-imposed deadline. She did. So Nick might be supreme overlord of word vomit, but Melissa is like, bitch, I will get this shit done. So yeah, she is a badass.
Thanks.
That is real as hell. There, Nick. We can agree on that.
I love you, Joy.
Wait, do you want to share what Joy is doing with you all? Because she gets to see some of the Doesn't she get to see some of the shenaniganery?
I'm blanking.
Or is that different? No, okay.
That's
I
different.
know she's doing like word Bible things. I didn't know she was doing that for you guys.
Nope, different.
Okay, not yet.
Joy
Okay.
is still badass.
Yeah. Joy Wonder, also a badass, doing some real cool world Bibling. I really am enjoying these comments over here.
No,
There's
I
just
keep staring at it like
there's some real sassiness. We're just gonna let Joy and Charlie take care of this situation over here.
no.
Lord. Anyway, okay, back to Melissa and how great she is.
Back to me, thank you.
Yes, we're gathered here today to talk about Melissa and Kailey and the shenanigans of the Space Bunny. That's right. Okay, so in writing the second book, what was something, so you weren't really surprised by much except Winterborn needing to get punched in the face, which fair, as you do. So Nick mentioned that your villain is awesome. What do you think makes him such a compelling villain? Why did he come back for round 2?
So in my head, Andre is very much like he wants to come across as this sophisticated, gentleman type, person. Like he's always in control. He's very polite.
Mm-hmm.
And then when things start going badly for him and he can't control what's going on, then you start seeing those little cracks to the monster that hides underneath, because he is very much a irredeemable, awful asshole that absolutely will eventually get what's coming to him. Winterborn is one of my favorite characters too. Thank you, Nick.
Nice.
But Andre is just like, I would not even call him Kailey's villain. He's very much Winterborn's villain.
Oh.
And Kailey has her own villain in book 2 that you'll meet. And Barton absolutely considers him his villain too. So Barton and Kailey definitely have their little thing going on. I'm so excited about that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm coming right back to that.
Yes, you are.
So to speak. So what did I think we skipped right over Kailey's background, like who she is. So hopefully people have read Sunrise Over Shippo, but what should people know about Kailey?
So first off, Kailey is kind of like if you took Evie from The Mummy and you took Dr. Daniel Jackson from Stargate and you mashed them together with a little bit of me thrown in and her own little quirkiness, and you have Kailey Jackson, who is very much a duck out of water in a lot of instances because she was literally raised by space foxes and she doesn't quite understand how humans think or interact with each other all the time. And she very much is confused by human expressions because, let's face it, folks, they don't make any sense unless you've been raised around it. So that's definitely a recurring theme throughout both books. And she's like, what does that mean? What does that have to do with this? Which we kind of did at the Phoenix Feast too, with the where are the goats? I don't understand.
Why are there so many barnyard animals?
I don't get it. Get it.
Why are there chickens? Why are we rocking with chickens out? I don't understand.
I don't get it. So it's very much Kailey, where she doesn't always understand things and she doesn't always fit in. But one area where she absolutely excels at is her job, her original job, which was an Asur linguist. So this mysteriously vanished alien race, they left a whole bunch of bunkers and basically toys all over this corner of the galaxy of the Salvage universe. And it was because they were preppers. They were prepping for this mysterious big bad. I'm sure I'll get to that in book 3.
Or the second trilogy. Who knows? Yeah.
So the reason that this, that Asur linguists like Kailey are rare and very much in demand and valuable and kidnappy is because their spoken language totally makes sense, but their written language is just a mind fuck of what the hell is going on with all of this. It's a rune-based language, and everything can change based off context, based off songs. It's very twisty, and you have to be a little bit weird in the brain to be able to figure it out. I'm going to have fun with bringing in Barut from Kevin Steverson's Salvage system in this book. I'm about to write that scene. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like so much fun.
but that's Kailey. So she's not really a fighter, but she was kind of trained that way by her mother, her adoptive Space Fox mother.
Space Fox.
Space Foxes for the win. So she's kind of just this fun, quirky, very much a geek who's also, trying to find her place with the fighters. So
yeah,
I
and
love her
Evie
so
Daniel Jackson. Oh, I love it. There's that meme that's like, yeah, what's your sexuality? The entire cast of the Mummy. Like, yeah, yes, indeed. Okay, so we had a great question in the comments. Was Winterborn modeled after anyone in real life?
Not really. Like a lot of times my characters are based off of like a mashup of characters that I've, read of or watched, but Winterborn just kind of came out of nowhere as this grumpy, scowly, very much just grim at times merc, but he's also kind of fun to play with because sometimes he doesn't get a joke, it just right over his head. So maybe he's got a little Drax in there from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
But he's absolutely loyal, and I love him so much. I'm gonna have fun with his trilogy.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be a delight. Yeah, there's also a question. Joy answered it, but I'm just going to build on it. Would be great to see a video of the Phoenix Feast. So yeah, we know what happens in the Phoenix Feast stays in the Phoenix Feast. It is very shenanigan.
We were obnoxious and fucking delight.
We're 100% fucking delights. And the most important thing you should know is that for some reason, Yvonne Jacobs thought it would be a good idea to equip us with bullhorns. It was pretty much the best thing that ever happened. And I immediately was like, okay, well, I'm going to go be a jackass. Bye. And I took it, ran outside of the room, and started bellowing.
We blinked and she was gone. We're like, where did she go?
I have no regrets except that I didn't do it longer. Yes, Nick, because like I said, it's a competition. And if I have to beat you, I have to be extra obnoxious.
We're still not going to come close to being as obnoxious as you.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. To the point that one of my friends was like, who allowed this to be even in your presence? Not even like who gave it to you, but like who
allowed it? Who signed off on
it? Marisa and Melissa Bullhorns in the same room. Who thought this was?
Honestly, like I have not laughed that hard. And we obviously, pointing is different. We laugh a lot. I was laughing so hard at Joel that my ribs hurt. I was crying.
It was pretty great. I feel like everyone had their chance to be hilarious. Just members of the feast, our host, Joe Lyons, who is also the con chair, and also fictionalized in the 4A2. Mark Wandry, the creator of the Four Horsemen universe. Like everybody did something that made people laugh really hard. Joy would like to know if your stomach muscles.
Like if I start laughing too hard, my ribs start aching. I'm like, apparently I have not recovered.
It couldn't be the lack of sleep or the intense joy. Speaking of intense joy, Joy also raffled off a dealer's choice, a Depic or a Fae. And I thought there was going to be blood in the room. People were like, no one told us.
That was intense. That was really intense. So my favorite might have been Mark Wandry holding up the giant Rainbow Dash stuffy. It's so fluffy.
It was the best. You guys are the best. So here is moral of the story. If in April of 2024, that's how time works, you are in the Raleigh-Durham area, you should go to Fantasy. The theme is going to be around Dune next year for reasons that I think are on the website, but if not, you should just stay tuned because I'm not going to be the one to ruin things on the internet. But it's going to be great. Yeah, Joy, if you want to pull that up, Jeremy, the winner chose Depic because we were causing some chaos at the dinner. But he had a bunch of ideas, like he wants to basically pay it forward and continue to raise money for the charity. So Fantasy the last couple of years has worked with Saving Grace Charity, which helps train and provide service dogs for disabled vets, which is an incredible organization and incredible cause. all seriousness. And
No smiling.
yeah, like for real, for real. And at the feast, we managed to raise a little over $300. One of the awesome 4H fans was like, "Hey, if I give you $20, can I just not go to the grog? I don't want to stand up. I don't want to drink, but I do want to support the charity." And that really like set the thing, because I think Joy was like, "Marisa, don't give us the money. Just put it in your cleavage." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then Mark was like, "More people should give her money to put in her cleavage." And people were like, "We should. We totally." Thanks, Jeremy. And the wonderful members
That was
of
a great timing, Jeremy.
That's so good. The members of the 4-H group were like, we should do that. It's great. We raised money. People matched money. It was awesome. We love cool things. We love cool things like salvage bunnies. So we just keep segueing back
because we will
And movies.
We love boobies. Also, I think Melissa, just in case people haven't heard the story of the alternate universe version of Salvage Bunny, do you feel like you want to share that? Of this, she's a little more savage. She's not quite as gentle. Is that a story you want to share, or are we just gonna? I saw your face the moment you realized what I was talking about.
I was thinking, like, all right, like she's got sharp teeth and the Monty Python. Oh, that's what you mean.
A little rough, but not in that way. Different way.
I mean, it does kind of tie in.
Bring it all together.
Okay, so Jeremy did kind of preface this whole with like the funny things that Melissa says at cons, because y'all, I am queen of herd at the con. And sometimes it's absolutely on purpose, and sometimes it's just because I can't fucking talk to save my life. Okay. Thanks, Nick and Jeremy. Y'all are wonderful. I will get you back.
So helpful.
You are welcome.
Wow. She was telling the story. I mean, y'all. Spoilers.
Well, now that there's a spoiler, thanks, boys. So again, this is Casey Moore's fault. Moops,
usually
all his fault.
Yeah.
I ain't broken.
So just for a second, we lost you.
Oh no, because it wasn't frozen on my end.
No, you weren't frozen. You were just laughing really hard. We couldn't see you. Oh God.
Okay. Yeah. And now it's frozen. All right. So LibertyCon, this salvage roundtable, like the panel to talk about all the salvage awesomeness. Like there's all us authors up at the front of the room, and yes, when in doubt, blame Moops, because chances are it's that motherfucker's fault.
I like it. That's real. Yeah.
Yep. So he's doing his, I just have a short story. I'm not that important. I'm like, shut up. Your story made me cry, you bastard.
Yeah.
He really does. I think him and Nick have turned it into a competition to see if they can make me cry. And they're both actually really, really good storytellers. So usually they succeed. But his story was amazing. And I am trying to talk him up, but it's 10 in the morning. I did not have sleep.
At a con. Yeah.
At a con. Yeah. I'm like desperately drinking Starbucks, of course.
Yeah,
because what else would I drink? And I may have, dropped a letter from Salvage Angel. And then there's Chris Woods and Hillbilly going, damn, we thought we were going to be the bad ones on this panel, and it was you. Yeah. I'm like, yep, that was me. I did it.
That happened. My favorite was I was not at that panel, unfortunately. I wanted to be, but it was 10 a.m. and either I had another panel or yes, Jeremy.
It's one of my favorite stories, I have to say.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah. I've got a new one for you after this.
Oh god. So I was because they echo when you're on the screen. Go away. We live in a trailer, y'all. He is not far. So anyway, so I don't think the panel had been over for more than like 30 seconds. Nope. I was walking with somebody somewhere, and we passed Chris and Sheila Kennedy, who is also a fucking delight at all times, goes, do you know what Melissa said? And I was like, I do not. And then I immediately found out, cackled super loudly in the middle of the hallway, and then ran to find her because it was great.
Oh my god! I ran into Chris and Sheila like 2 minutes after that, and they're like, "Oh, we heard what you said." And I'm like,
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
You can't fight that stuff. You just have to own it and go, yep, it was me. I said it. What?
You just lean into it and take it, is what you're saying. That's what
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
Just bend over. It's fine.
Just assume the position. So recently Casey said something to me that she loves. Things like people think I'm the nice one of the group. And she thinks that's hilarious because I love that people think you're the sweet one. Like that you are innocent. And I know, but like they do, right? Like people think they see Melissa and she's cute and she's perky and she writes these delightful stories. And they're like, she wouldn't stab me in the heart or make a dirty, dirty, dirty sex joke that makes me actually catch my breath. No, but she does though. Like, so good.
As Kailey says, and I quote, my innocent camouflage is strong.
It's so real. So amazing. Every time somebody like pretends to be shocked or no, is genuinely shocked that Melissa has said something completely inappropriate, I'm just like,
and usually it is on purpose.
Which is the best part, right? Because your face is like, what? I don't understand. Why are you laughing? But your heart is like, hey, suckers. It's pretty good. Okay, Nick. We'll pretend that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a new story for the group, I heard.
So,
not wrong.
This time I think I'm going to blame Jeremy. I think it's his fault. And maybe Easy and a few, another husband, boyfriend, fiance at the time, because this goes back to, Fantasy. It's all about the dragons. Dragons are awesome. We're talking about the dragon riders of Pern the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting at lunch.
Pern porn.
Yes, that's my fault. Because I 100% at lunch with Mark Stallings and Haley and a few other people that I have forgotten. And blanking. I totally called it Dragon Riders of Porn. I regret nothing.
Just slips right out. Just like smooth and easy. Just slips right out. Nick's having Tourette's on his keyboard again, so we're gonna disregard this comment.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving. It's fine. We can't. Those words didn't even make sense together, so it's fine.
Bird dragons are real dragons.
Dragon Riders of Porn. Also, folks, if you have not watched the fabulous series called The Magicians, I loved the show even more than the books. There is an honest to God cover of a book they made called Dragon Riders of Porn, and it.
It's okay, kiddo. Sit back down on the couch. We're fine. I checked the radar. We're good.
They're just close. It's good that he's aware. I like it. For folks watching at home, Melissa is in not quite not quite the center of some yucky danger farts. So
Mother Nature is very excited for Salvage Bunny too, I guess.
Real agitated out there. Like she just can't wait for book 3. So yikes. Anyway, Dragon Riders of Porn. Enjoy. That you can blame Jeremy and Easy both for that because they can't hear it. Like they can't hear Pern without saying porn.
All the time. It's like just automatic response with them. They'll just spit it right out.
Yep. Yeah, and as we know, it's not nice to spit, boys. So
I mean,
swallow like a lady. Anyway, so moving on to speaking of ladies.
Yes.
The only way I can say
ladies. Yes, we are.
All my segues are dumb. Why are you back? You see the echo? So it's horrifying. Oh no, did I? Okay, I froze for a second. It's fine. Speaking of ladies, if you had to write an outtake, like just a fun scene that had nothing to do with the novel of Kailey or Winterborn getting into shenanigans, what would be something you would like to write?
So I alluded to it in the book, but I did not actually write out the scene because holy crap balls, Salvage Bunny 2 was like 128,000 words. It was already pretty beefy. So
fair.
I had them on a dinosaur movie kick at first, but then they switched to like cheesy horror movies. Okay. And Barton is nothing if not like mischievous, which is kind of why Kailey's into him, because the kitsune, the space foxes, are also all about the mischief.
Go figure. Yeah.
And he's like, if you time it right, you can make Alberon this big, massive Yaltine, like the heavy duty weapons specialist. You can make him scream like a little girl. So I would absolutely write that scene, because Alberon held a grudge against Kailey, like you read about, and it was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. You guys, readers, you should totally bribe Melissa for like Patreon goods or something to like set up one day so we can read this. It seems important.
That would be awesome, and totally like a 180 from the bonus scenes I want to do for Athena and Sebastian.
So no lie, that's part of why I asked that question, because I know what some of those outtake scenes are for Athena and Sebastian, Valkyries. Y'all stay tuned. You're gonna want those. You're gonna want those outtakes. Those are some other people want those. It's fine. All my fans are packed away right now. I would just
right.
Okay, here we are. Random paper. It's fine.
All right, that one I didn't like sneak in the romance. It was like bam.
Okay. Speaking of, so that is another question I want to ask you. So Melissa and I have talked a lot about tropes, like the tropes that we love using, the tropes that we love blowing up. Did you get to incorporate any fun tropes into this trilogy so far?
So some of the fun tropes I've had I've had fun turning them on their head. And Casey is one of my alpha readers. Like, I read his stuff, he reads mine. I've actually got a short story in my inbox from him that I'm really looking forward to digging into this weekend.
Nice.
Totally bragging, because his stuff is awesome. He caught it in Sunrise, where, you know, it's that tropey moment where like the geeky little nerd girl's like, I have an idea to solve this problem. And like in the movies or TV shows, everybody stops what they're doing to listen to her. And that did not happen. She's like, well, wasn't sure what I expected, but being ignored was not it.
Nice. Good for you, Kailey. Builds character.
I also had fun with, you know, Shepard. He's like, you know, the Lancers commander. He's like, you know, brave, strong, like everything you want in a leader. And he is like, minor spoiler, he is 100% my damsel in distress in this book for valid reasons, like not just to make the strong man, like, you know, the damsel. He's the damsel for good reason, and he also helps with his own rescue, but there are consequences to him being the damsel that Kailey had a little fun with, so you'll have to read to find that out.
Speaking of reasons people should read this book, what if you like blah, you would like this trilogy? What would the blah be?
Oh gosh, that's a good one. If you like any of Nick's stuff, Nick Steverson's Space Dragons, if you like his Salvage Trilogy, you're gonna like Bunny. If you like anime, it does have a bit of an anime flavor. Inuyasha was always one of my favorites, and it's got a little bit of that, a little bit of Voltron, the new one on Netflix, because holy crap, when I was writing Sunrise, my kids were obsessed. So if you like space adventure, like it's mil sci-fi, but it's like mil sci-fi light. It's adventure. It's a little bit, not in the first book, but a little bit of romance in the second. It's, you know, action and adventure. If you like The Mummy, you're gonna like this.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking, is like, if you like action adventure films where the characters manage to be well-rounded, even while like pure chaos happens around them, you will like these books. Like, if you like stories that are super entertaining and move fast, while you still get a really good grip, like on non-cardboard characters, like these incredibly well-built characters, you will like Melissa's stuff. 100%. If you have good taste, you'll like it, basically.
Yes. If you are awesome, you'll like my books.
Yeah. If you like fun things that are awesome, then this is for you. That checks out. I like that.
Oh, Nick's being nice again. That's worrying.
It's because I think he told us to shut up or do something earlier, and we just moved on. So sometimes he's nice. He's the sweet one. So, you know, he's got to. Do you know what he is? So we have a Sour Patch Kid in our group. So I think what that makes Nick is the Garbage Pail Kid, who is, right? Don't you think? So he like says gross, outlandish, ridiculous shit, but then also he'll say like the nicest, most insightful, sweetest thing because he's also like stupid, thoughtful, and smart, which is ridiculous. Ugh. So yeah, so that's, I think Nick is our garbage pail kid.
Anytime he's nice to me, I'm like, you're freaking me out. Are you an alien, like a clone? I don't know what to do with this nice version of Nick. Be an asshole again.
They do, yeah, but that is true, right? Like her characters are so well done. You know who's talking because they don't sound the same. You are not. I mean, garbage pail kid, Oscar the Grouch lives in garbage. I feel like I was pretty spot on, honestly. So for a right in the moment decision, I think I did pretty good.
That was brilliant.
Thank you. I felt really good. I was also thinking about, they had those commercials somewhat recently. Again, we don't do time math. About like like first they're bitter and then they're sweet or whatever. Like the garbage.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Cuts off like half the pigtail. I remember that.
Yeah, but just like half. The other it's fine. We like the other, and then like comb your hair. It's fine. So Nick is gonna just hang out in his trash can and yell at us from his trash. That's fine.
Which is perfect.
Actually, pretty spot on. I feel great. And I'm guessing Joy's comment is too perfect was about our decision here. So Phil, yes, thank you. I feel very smart today. So she's probably talking about how great your book is, but let's pretend
that works too.
Because the book is so great, you guys. Because it was already climbing the charts this morning, yeah.
It was at number 3 on new releases for action and adventure, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so exciting! I'm like that Bonds of Valor. Thank God. It's at number 2.
Number 2. So good. That's so good, you guys. That's a big category. And yes, Nick is a garbage pail kid. Oh my gosh, look at how. Also, can we talk about how beautiful this cover is?
Oh, so pretty.
I really love the colors.
Oh, it pops, and it's just I want to hug it. Like I need my physical copy so I can put it next to like Sunrise over Shippo and just like stare at them because I do. I have it like with me.
Look at okay, Melissa, talk to us about these books. What's going on here?
Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit because this is one of my favorite stories. So I went to Fantasy for the first time 3 years ago. So this is 3 Fantasys back, right? And within the first 5 minutes, I see Casey and Cassie, who I haven't seen Casey Moore's wife, and one of my friends. I haven't seen her in years. I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs and hugging. And then like 2 seconds later, I meet Chris Kennedy in person for the first time. Like, hi, I swear I'm a normal person-ish, close enough.
Look at the crowd, you're fine. Yeah.
And he's like, hey, how would you like to write in the Salvage Title universe? And I'm like, I would love that. What is it? Yes, my answer is yes. I'm being asked to write a trilogy versus or a anthology versus submitting to an open call. So I was like floored.
Yeah.
And he's like, go meet Kevin Steverson and Nick Steverson. They're out on the patio selling books. I'm like, I'm on it. Yes, sir. Got this.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
So I go out there and Kevin, he's Space Dad is so nice. He's amazing. He's telling me about salvage stuff and everything. And then Nick just looks at me. He's like, where's the novel? You got short stories, but where's the novel? I'm like, you motherfucking asshole. So yep. I just tucked that little comment away and sat on it for a while. And then, I wrote, honestly, on the plane ride home from Fantasy, I wrote, or at least figured out like half the short story for the anthology. Awesome. Nice. And I managed to send it in last second because I wasn't as quick of a writer then as I am now. A lot of that is thanks to writing with Nick. We've both gotten a lot faster, which for him is kind of terrifying. For me, it's great.
Like, no limit. The limit does not exist. It's fine.
And then I met Nick. That's right.
Yeah.
My author twin. So Kevin read the story and he replied back. He's like, if you wanted to give me a novel, I wouldn't be opposed. And I'm like, say no more. That counts as an invitation.
Done and done.
So Shadows Before Sunrise is a short story, and it came out in It Takes All Kinds anthology. And that gorgeous cover that you see right there, that is Jamie Ibsen. And oh my God, does he have some talent with cover art? Y'all, that is, I love that one. I might have to get that one done in paperback just so I can have a physical copy.
Own it in your hands. Yeah, respect.
Yeah, that's what I do. But then I spent, the next couple months writing Sunrise over Shippo. And at that point, it was the only book I was working on at once. So it went fairly well.
It's no longer true for her, guys.
Right. No, it's not. There's multiple projects like all the time.
All the time. Yeah. Yep.
So Nick and I have been talking a lot about hyena shenanigans, and we actually started becoming friends at that point. We're texting and all the things, and he's like, I'll read it for you, Sunrise, I'll read that for you whenever it's ready, if it's ever done. I'm like,
Sure.
So when I finished it, I emailed it to him, then I messaged him like, ask me again. He's like, I'm like, ask me where the novel is again. Come on, do it. I dare you.
One more time. Yeah.
And so he did. He's laughing his ass off. He asked me, I'm like, in your inbox. Ha!
Up yours. The best way. Thank you so much.
So that's kind of how that progression went. And, when Kevin says, I'd like a novel, what he means is, I mean, a trilogy.
Yeah.
Which is why I've lost count of how many trilogies I owe that man at this point.
It's several. I was like, I am only slightly, if at all, exaggerating when I say like 18 books. Like the list goes on. And then Nick mentioned at some point in passing there are secret projects, and I think it's like there's Secret Project 1 that's Nick and Melissa. I think there is Secret Project 2 that I and Girl Casey might be involved in. There might be a Secret Project 3. I don't fucking know. Like these yahoos are this entire ball of creative chaos at all times. Like if you leave them alone in a conversation or a room, or you have them surrounded by people in a conversation or a room, they will spit out 24 projects and be ready to go. It's bananas.
Yeah, we were actually on the phone earlier today talking about the big secret project because it's fun.
1, 2, 3, 5, who knows? One of them.
Who knows? There was several conversations within that one phone call, so.
Wide raging, spanning, who knows words? We don't use those here.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
It's easier to write them because then when you make a mistake, you can backspace. You can't do that when you're talking.
Truth. That is accurate. I would also like to agree with one of the comments in here. Somebody said something like, Melissa, you said to Chris, like, I promise I'm normal. And we're all like, no. I like this. Normal is a setting on a dryer. Does not apply to the rest of us. Thank you for that.
And I totally just caught up with the Knightfall is currently number 2. Oh my god, that's so cool. That's the highest I've ever gotten. I'm so excited. Now, I did see number 1 on that list, and it's like some kind of like romance thing. So I'm probably not going to topple that. I do understand. Yeah. I do understand the angst against Peck Fic invading other categories. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're hard. It's hard to combat.
But number 2, I will take that.
2 is awesome because it's not like a tiny niche category. That's a big. What she said. That's a big category. So
Nick, be my secretary for once and screenshot that for me. Thanks.
Could you be a dear?
Thank
you.
You're awesome.
Now he won't because we said it all salty. It's fine.
Please.
Take care of your author twin. He probably already did it because again, he is a big old jerk who's also awesome. So what are you gonna do?
Just likes poking things with sticks and to see what happens, but he's really like the best guy ever. Honestly,
he's pretty great.
He's saddled to my husband. Dear God, my husband and Nick are friends, and they'll text each other separately. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You stole my author twin, and you stole my husband. Give them back.
Yeah, I'm laughing about 3 things at once right now. 1, he already said it to you 3 minutes ago. Of course he did. Like,
thank you.
So good at life. 2, that is comma loser. Like, I already did this awesome nice thing for you, you loser. Love it. That's Nick in a nutshell. And 3, he stole your husband, which is hilarious. Like, people hear these conversations out of context. Like, Melissa and I share my husband at cons. Nick stole Melissa's husband. I think we said like one of our con wives. Like, who knows? Like, Girl Casey is also our con wife, obviously. Like, it's a fun little group we have, you guys.
Yes, I could not agree with Nick more. My husband is awesome and amazing and just wonderfully like in all seriousness, like he has supported me like every step of the way with this craziness to the point of, you know, going above and beyond to manipulate his schedule. So he has, you know, the small things over there. So he can take care of them because, you know, we don't have anybody here, like family wise, that I can just go, hey, would you like to have the kids for the weekend? So
They can go to a con.
he's wonderful. But I am excited for Mid-South Con next year. If you come and we can have sleepover shenanigans at my house. Like
Done and done. Yes. Tell your, I mean, as long as Mid-South Con will have me, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
If they know what's good for them.
Okay. If you want these shenanigans in person, you're welcome.
You will have fun.
That's right. That'd be super fun. And you can tell your kids I'll bring them more shells for sure. So
their reaction was, okay, so y'all, Marisa and Jeremy got shells because that's what you do when you live by a beach for like, what, 5 months?
6,
Which
yeah.
is awesome. Beach combing is like my new favorite thing to do whenever I'm at the ocean. Mm-hmm. And Jeremy, rightly so, is like, we can't take all this stuff. We live in an RV. So they gave me like this Cool Whip container of shells that I brought home for my kids, and they acted like it was treasure of the highest order. They were like screaming, flipping out like it was Christmas morning, and then examining each individual shell. Liam said to tell you he loves you so much and thank you so much for the shells, and he's going to figure out which one of them is the lucky one so I can hold it while I'm doing shows like this.
Okay, I love him so much, and he is so welcome because that is the precious. Oh my gosh, so cute.
He's adorable when he's not being, you know, a preteen.
I mean, humans. So the first time I met Melissa's kids was at Factory Con, and her. Oh yes, we'll talk about it, Nick. God, your bragginess. We're gonna talk about it. So great. I still have 3 whole minutes. No, so the first time I met them, Melissa was going over to sell some books at the like comment center, and she walks over and she holds out her hand, and there is this like tiny, was it a shell or it was a shell?
Yeah, it was
right?
a tiny little shell.
Tiny, perfect shell. And Liam had walked up to her and said, like, Mom, I know you're nervous, so I got you a lucky shell, so everything will be awesome for you. Like, it was the most precious, sweetest, adorablest thing in the history of time. Oh my God, so cute. Her kids are adorbs.
I'm like, my mom heart just like got like 3 sizes bigger or something. It was so cute. It makes all the times where he's a little butthead just worth it.
I mean, he's a human person, you know, like Nick.
Right. Liam is 9, but he thinks he's like 14, I think. He's got all the sass.
Yeah.
Same with Moira, who is 7 and totally acting like a 16-year-old.
Well, it's okay because Nick is allegedly a grown man with like a family and an awesome, like, badass wife. But True. He acts like he's 16. So, you know, it's
honestly when Nick and I are actually like hanging out together, we have the combined maturity of a 12-year-old. So
they do.
Kind of like you and me at sleepovers.
True. The humor level, it definitely balances. It's fine. Melissa and I sacrifice giggling for sleep for giggling. I don't know.
Yes.
Sleepovers. I'm not mature either. That's why I appreciate it in Nick. It's fine. So as Nick said, this summer there is this really cool con happening that some CKPers are going to, and Melissa and Nick have been both nominated for this award, this Imaginarium Award. Melissa in several categories. Melissa, would you like to share with the class?
So it had to be like published within, 2022. And if Nick wins, by the way, he only wins because I told him that he needed to nominate himself. So we 100%. Both have our, he's got Consequences up, the third of his Space Dragon Salvage Trilogy. I've got this one. I'm gonna hug it. Okay. Yes, kiddo, we're okay. I'm watching. It's okay. Tornado sirens are still going off. We're fine.
Yeah, that's scary.
And then I've got 2 short stories. So one of them, I'm competing against myself and some other talented authors in that category. But I have 2 short stories. One of them is goat shopping.
Speaking of goats,
sometimes you just got to grab your goats in this fallen world, y'all.
Goats and boys.
So that one is my short story from Among the Embers, which is the Fallen World anthology that came out last summer-ish. Time is weird. We don't do time math for good reason. And then the other one is my short story from the Valkyries. Oh, Athena and Sebastian. So it's Angel Wings and Demon Bones, and that's one of my favorite short stories of all time ever.
It's really good.
Reasons.
Yeah, I'm biased, but it's effing awesome. So yeah. I mean, I'm biased because I think Melissa is effing awesome, but all of her stories are also really good. Yeah, nothing. We've had this independently verified, you guys. She is a baller. It's pretty great. That's awesome. So yeah, so Nick and Melissa are against each other in the novel category. I think Bill's short story isn't right. It's just Bill's got an anthology.
Yes. It's a competition.
So here's the thing, Nick. You read it first, but I get to like approve it and like steward it and make it like my little universe, baby. So
your little precious.
It's my precious. But yeah, you read it first. Thanks for the suggestions. Blah, it was good when I saw it. Anyway, it was so good. I was like, yeah, I'll read it in like first of all, poor Melissa, she sent it to me and I was like, cool, I started it and I will get to it when this other book is done, which was like a year later. It's fine.
You weren't busy at all. No.
It's fine. But I did tell her, I kept her updated. And then yeah, that's not how that works, but solid effort. Solid. It's like, I feel like you do know how books work because you managed to write them, but that indicated that you maybe didn't understand. It's fine. That was embarrassing for you. Anyway, JK. No, I know that you gave great suggestions because Melissa like communicated what some of them were, and I was like, oh yeah, that was really smart. Good job. I wouldn't say that to Nick, but I would say it to Melissa about Nick. So I think that's fine. Anyway, my point was I finally did get to read it for real. And I was like, cool, I'll get back to you in like a week. I'm finally starting it. And then 2 nights later, I was like, well, it's 3 a.m. I finished it. So here are my thoughts. Because I couldn't go to sleep and I had to finish it. It's that good. So
I am almost done with the final round of edits on it. The problem I keep having is that I don't want to finish reading it. Like, I'll just do it a couple chapters at a time because then I'll just start reading it. Because I love it so much.
It's such a good book. So I think what we have to do is when the Valkyries novels come out, we'll have to do these. And maybe we'll have like Nick try to moderate us or something.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Like that. Like Nick and Jeremy trying to corral this.
Good luck. Yes.
Yikes.
Done and done.
Nice, okay. Like we didn't even wait to see what Nick thought. Just Jeremy's in. It's done. Okay.
Like Nick has no choice now.
Yeah.
Love you, Arthur Twin.
So good. Because Jeremy already is gonna have to corral Nick and Melissa for hyenas. Because I don't.
April 28th. See you there.
What is that book called, Melissa?
So that one is Hunters and Hijinks. And it is the first of 3 that we're going to rapid release. And it is like the Goonies and Office Space and some Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's madcap fun. Like it's ridiculous. It's super ridiculous, y'all. Like if you're expecting any level of seriousness, you might find it if you look really hard. But you can tell we really had fun writing it, and just basically we're crazy. You'll use your dad voice. Oh, good lord.
Oh, just kidding.
I said dad, not daddy.
Oh, right? Sorry, I got confused. It's late. I don't know. I was like, oh, is it that kind of show? So yes, the Madcap Fun is so Christopher Rucchio, who is a freaking-tastic author, like, and also is apparently only 30. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, for his level of talent, absurd. He wrote the Sun Eater books, which will be continuing at Baen starting early next year. They are incredibly good. I read the first one. It is one of those like very long books that does not feel long at all, and you're so sad when it's over. So he did a blurb for the first Hyena book and called it Madcap Fun, which is pretty delightful. Yeah. He's great. Also insightful, also really knows the genre, like just so great. So a thing that I remember from late last year is Nick and Melissa saying that this was basically going to be the year that we will get tired of seeing their names, except we won't because the books will be so good. Because there are so many things they have coming out this year. So you should just like expect to see Melissa on the show like all the time. And then Nick, and then Nick and Melissa. And then I don't know, maybe who knows, but Jeremy, who knows? Like these are names you're gonna keep seeing because they wrote so many books and they're so good.
So much fun. This is just so much fun. I did have, so I got to go to Superstars this year, and also had, sleepover shenanigans with you there too, because that's our thing now.
We do.
And I love it. And I can't wait for sleepover shenanigans with
Pillow
Girl Kate.
fight.
Dangerously fun.
Yeah.
Yep. There was, again, no alcohol involved at Superstars because the altitude headache was real. Oh, that sucked.
Real. Yeah, unfortunate.
But I had like a minor epiphany there. Like I keep saying like this writing thing is the coolest, most fun, awesome, amazing, holy crap, I can't believe this is my life thing ever. But it wouldn't be nearly as much fun or awesome or cool or anything like that if it wasn't for you guys. Like I have like real friends, like not just author friends or somebody I know, but no, I have friends, and it is so, so much fun. You and girl Casey and Casey. Ugh.
Boy, Casey, we blame him, but yes.
We always blame him. And, I suppose Nick.
Yeah. He's all right. We like him.
And a whole bunch of other people. It just makes this so much fun. Like Chris did an excellent job of creating a publishing company that's very much a family-oriented thing that really reminds me of a lot of the better military squadrons I was in. So hats off to him. This is amazing.
That's awesome. Jeremy, I'm gonna steal some comments. Like this one, they're never gonna get. She said, "Never gonna get sick, you guys, because you'll keep writing and she'll keep reading." She's so great. And seriously, that was a joke. Like, y'all, these stories that these two yahoos have put together, both separately and together. Like, I love this point from Nick. Like, that co-write strategy that gets you guys getting stuff done fast. That's awesome, and to be able to apply that to your solo novels because. I could use some advice on that because
spite and competition for the win.
Yeah,
all about competition in a good, healthy, non-bad way.
Yes, yeah.
I'm gonna make him eat my dust.
That's right. I mean, yes, but not like with actual mean-spirited spite. Just like fun, healthy spite. It's fine.
No,
it's totally normal level of spite.
Rule number 1: don't be a dick.
It's right. Yeah, because to Melissa's point, this crew, like, there are lots of like companies in the world that are like, we're like a family here. And that means they expect you to work your ass off for like no recognition whatsoever. And it's awful. Or it's like a toxic family that you leave and never go back to. I would agree that the CKP family is like a legit family. Like there are times you're like, oh my gosh, shut the F up, but like with love. And that's mostly towards me, so it's fine. And just kidding, it's not because I'm awesome. But it is like every now and then you're like, oh my God, shut your face. But you're telling people to shut their face because you're like, oh man, I don't know, this wasn't very good. And you're like, it's one of the best fucking stories I've seen in like a year and a half. What do you mean it's not very good? Shut the fuck up. And that's
like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, this is amazing. Like, we cheerlead each other in a good way. Like, I will smack you across the face with a cheerleader pom pom if you keep talking about yourself like this. You're amazing. Like, Chris would not publish you if you weren't. Okay, so
Chris has standards, and they're high. And I'm really happy with the crew he's put together because it is like it's a really fun group that like genuinely like wants to see each other succeed because. Even when you write as fast as Nick and Melissa, we still can't write fast enough for the most voracious readers, of which many of which we are honored to know. So you need a stable of authors, it turns out, to churn out enough books to keep people happy. So
I think Nick or Kevin or both of them said this, like, it takes us months, weeks, years to put together something that's worth publishing, but it takes y'all like a couple days. And that's it. You're on to the next awesome story. So it's not a competition like at all, unless it's an actual like competition, like, the Bain short story contest or like this imaginary thing. That's a competition.
Or like an award. Some people are nominated for.
Nick is going to lose.
Sounds right.
But Yeah, exactly. It's read quickly. There's no competition between us. I am super excited when one of us does well. When Marisa got picked up by Bane, I screamed loud enough that I scared my dogs. And then I danced around my kitchen, and the dogs looked at me like, "What is wrong with you?" And then my kids came out because I was still dancing, and they're like, "Yay, we're gonna dance
You're
too!"
dancing now. Good, thank you.
I might have gotten to read that because I am that special. And when I tell you that, or rather, when Marisa said she lost sleep reading mine, I not only lost sleep staying up too late, when I was finished, I lost time. I sat in my damn chair wondering what the fuck I'm supposed to do with my life now. And the only reason my brain jump started is I had to feed my children. That's awesome. It is so good. Ignore her face. She's amazing.
Thanks.
You broke my brain.
Thank you. I will say, if you are an aspiring writer out there, surround yourself with other authors who you respect and who you enjoy, because I have leveled up so much from writing with incredible people and getting to read the incredible stories. Like I genuinely, Melissa was like, "I'm so glad you liked my novel." And I was like, "You better use the right words, dumb face." Like, I loved your novel. I was not nice. I was very mean about it. Yeah. It's like, how the fuck dare you? First of all, I loved it. Like, because I did, because I loved it. And it's just like, it makes you better. Like, not only is there not actual competition, but you get better because you are surrounded by really talented people who are working their asses off. Even Nick. So,
and I will say this nice thing about Nick.
Okay, one nice thing. Yeah.
When he reads for me, I know he's not going to bullshit me. He's going to tell me exactly what he thinks, and he's going to be like, "This was awesome. This blew my mind. This was amazing. What the fuck were you thinking here?" Like, clearly I wasn't at all. Thank you for pointing out that ginormous plot hole. But I mean, having people that are going to be honest with you about their feedback is gold.
Yes. And I was not joking earlier when I was like, he's like really insightful. Like, he knows good stories. And yes, Nick, I am excited for you to read my book, but if you don't like it, you can lie to me. That's fine. So it will be too late for brutal feedback by then. But yeah, that like honest, brutal feedback, or it doesn't have to be brutal. It just has to be honest.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of like, I love this. I love this. I love this. This made me laugh out loud. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Do not change this.
Yes. Yes. I know you won't lie, Nick. Jesus Christ.
Nope.
We can pretend. It's fine. But yeah, I don't feel like it's ever anything where anyone is trying to hurt people's feelings. Like, there's a reason Nick and I were talking about doing this horror anthology together, and there aren't a ton of people that I would co-do an anthology with because it's a lot of fucking work. But I actually respect Nick's both insight and also work ethic. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And it's not brutality, it's just clarity. So it's less finish him and more, let's make this actually good, shall we? Okay, great.
Constructive criticism without fluff.
Yeah, we don't do the shit sandwich here. I really hate the shit sandwich. You guys don't do that.
God, that's such a military thing too. Like, I really like this, but blah. And then, but yeah, this was great. Like, well,
you're nice. And usually one of those nice things is a stretch, and it's kind of a lie, and it doesn't feel real at all. Yes, agreed with Joy. The CKP crew is freaking phenomenal. Including Melissa, whose book 2 of her trilogy is out today, which means that if you're watching this live or in post, this book is available and you can go buy it right now. And do you know what you deserve is a really good story. So you should probably just go treat yourself like now.
Yeah.
Like right now.
And if you don't have the first one, I mean, both is always good. Both is good. I like both.
We like both. Yeah, that's how we do. Yeah, look at go pick up that short story. So the story works. Sunrise Over Shippo works if you don't read the short story, but I mean, why not more good story? Like, nothing wrong with that. Oh, the horror novel. I was like, what's horrid? Nick, what's happening? Yes, the horror anthology will be amazing. And agreed, it's the power of and. So treat yourself to books 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and like and subscribe. If you enjoyed the shenanigans like this, John Osborne is here, which is nice. Hi, Oz. And there are more great books to come, so you should keep on watching Inside CKP. I hear a rumor that next week there's another book launch. It won't be me, and it won't be me hosting, but Jeremy's great too. And also, Jeremy, aren't I supposed to talk about something? There's a picture
for
future books. Look, I'm paying attention. I don't know where Jeremy is right now.
We remembered. I mean,
so Randy Willis is freaking awesome.
Right.
So he is so great. He is such a good, like, again, I don't use the word insightful lightly, although it sounds like I do because I used it for Nick earlier. But Randy is just like a passionate reader. He's super insightful about stories and what makes them work. He really loved the upcoming book for Nick and Melissa, so you should go listen. He liked it a lot. Yeah, so you should go listen to that. Also, he talks about Misfits, which is the latest 4HU book. I know the episode already came out, Nick. This is why we're talking about it. Ugh. You can listen to it on this channel. You can listen to him talk about Misfits, which is the latest book in the 4HU. Kevin Eikenberry, Jason Cordova tied up some really great storylines speaking of brutal, well-written, incredibly impressive fashion. So you should probably go read it. And it comes right after they had another book on a cloudy day come out last month. So you can hear them talk about it on the future books. More shows will be coming on Inside CKP. Nick's gonna shut his face hole. That's nice. Thanks, Nick. And
He's so considerate.
He's so thoughtful. My goodness. You know what, Nick? You might have read that whole book before me, but I knew it was going to happen. And I read a particular scene with Sunshine like a year and a half ago. So, and just saying.
Jason sent that to me and said, quote, because I'm an asshole. I'm like, damn it, now I have to read it. And then I cried because apparently Jason has joined the competition to make me cry and succeeded like 100%. Like, I hate you.
Yeah. Talented writers doing their stupid talented writer things. So yeah, no, it's a good book. Let's see. I don't know what else I have to talk about, Jeremy, except you should go buy Melissa's books and read them and enjoy them. You muted me?
Blah, 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 blah.
First of all.
No, so I think from now on, I'm going to come in and do the marketing stuff, and Marissa's going to... Anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to have Marissa host because she's very entertaining with entertaining guests. And I will come in and do the boring marketing stuff because she always forgets the boring marketing stuff.
She didn't. She totally remembered.
Wait, I'm sorry. Have we talked about where we can find you online and where you're going to be in the future and all that? So here we go.
I was on that.
Yeah, whatever. You forgot. So, Melissa, where can people find you online and sign up for a newsletter and find your books and all that good stuff?
So as far as where you can find me online, my website is melissaolthoff.net. It looks strangely familiar because I totally copied Marissa's homework because her website is fabulous. You can find me on Facebook. I'm active there all the time. I've got my main page and I have my author page. Mostly just keep the official stuff on my author page, but most of my posts on my regular page are public. So you don't even have to be my friend to come hang out. You can find me on Amazon, and I am theoretically on Twitter, but I haven't spent the time to figure that thing out. So, I mean, Instagram is coming as well. As far as where to find me physically, you might find me in the land of Oz after this tornado bullshit. Like the sirens are going off again. It's super not fun because it's dark now, so you can't see those fuckers coming, so to speak. But let's see. So we were just at Fantasy, totally behaving ourselves, like making excellent life choices, like tattoos and not sleeping.
Yeah, I was about to say tattoos.
So pretty. I don't know how cameras work.
Y'all are bad influences on each other, or good. I don't know.
We had this decision independently, and then just realized that we both wanted phoenixes, and we were just like, you know what? It's meant to be. We're going to do this. I think the next thing I'll be at is LibertyCon in Chattanooga in June, and then I will be at Imaginarium. I'm officially a panelist now. That is July 14th through 16th. Don't quote me. Check it out for yourself. I will hopefully be going to Dragon Con for shenanigans of all kinds with Marisa. Again, with the sleepover thing, we're going to have a great time. We dragged Joelle Presby into our sleepover shenanigans, so all the fun. And after that is Factory Con, because my husband might not enjoy traditional conventions, but he loves hanging out with you guys and like glamping. So we literally like structured our vacation around going to Factory Con.
I love that. Yeah.
That's awesome. So go buy her book. Here it is. The link is also in the comments. It's all over Facebook. But go sign up for her newsletter on her website. You get free stuff. And if you want to know what's coming up with some of your favorite authors, I invite you to sign up for all of their newsletters, including Chris Kennedy Publishing.com. And Nick, as you heard earlier, Nick and Melissa will be making another appearance here in April, on April 28th. And another reason I have Marisa on the show is because she will wear the cat ears and I won't. So
Challenge accepted.
yes. And
one day I'll just come in behind him while he's on the show, and I'll just put the ears.
So yes, do it, definitely.
Marisa Easter eggs. All right.
Yes.
And so if you didn't get enough today, come and see us on April 28th, where Nick will be in person, and the shit talking will exceed your expectations.
I mean, on video in person.
Exactly.
He won't be like in our camper. That would be a little crowded.
It'd be a little weird.
No. I mean, I guess you're welcome.
Yeah. And I want to thank everybody in the comment sections. Y'all are awesome. I love the arguments and the shit talking. It is great.
Pause. Because when Melissa said she'd go to Oz, Nick goes, "You have a bike, so you'll be okay." Which is hilarious, and I'm not going to explain the Wicked Witch's Quest to you if you don't know. And then immediately, John Osborne said, "Are you going to visit?"
Absolutely, I'll visit you anytime, Oz. Oz is a fucking delight.
He is a delight. He
No
is a
joke.
delight.
Right.
Yeah, but the tornadoes probably won't be that considerate to bring you there. So.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cool. I mean, I really would appreciate like some kind of transportation system that's not the airlines or my car, just so I can go see everybody whenever.
Free trip would be nice. Yeah. All right, sorry, Jeremy.
Look, she couldn't even stop talking after she turned her mic off. You saw that? Anyway, with that being said, Melissa, thank you very much for coming on the show. Congratulations on your new book. Sounds wonderful. And we will see you in a month on this channel and celebrate your next novel. So just keep your eyes open for this one. We're going to see great things. And until next time, thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone in the comments and in the future watching this. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.